What if I told you while you were struggling to afford a home, one U.S. senator has been flying around the world on your dime, helping Wall Street rake in billions of dollars while your housing market burns? That's right, guys. While you and your family are getting squeezed by sky-high rents, mortgage rates through the roof, and neighborhoods full of empty homes that no one can afford to buy, Lindsey Graham has been caught red-handed. And it's not just bad optics. It's deliberate betrayal. This man, who hasn't lifted a finger to fix the housing crisis in his own state, has taken 6 taxpayer-funded trips to Ukraine, while average Americans can't even afford a down payment. And now we're learning that these foreign entanglements may have actually directly helped tank your own ability to own a home, guys, all to protect his real friends on Wall Street. So you're about to see how Lindsey Graham backed foreign conflicts that triggered economic chaos, inflated rates, and left you paying the price, guys, while his allies and real estate hedge funds snatched up homes, jacked up the rent. Does this sound insane to you? Because it is. Let me know if your rent has increased in the last 12 months, guys. Drop me a quick yes, and how much did it go up? Now, stick with me, because later in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how Lindsey Graham undermined Trump's budget bill that was designed to protect you while fast-tracking billions overseas. This isn't just incompetence. This wasn't just a my bad moment. This was sabotage, guys. Prices are falling. Inventory is exploding. Zombie homes are spreading like a disease. And now Americans are asking, was all of this part of the plan? Well, buckle up, because what I'm about to share with you guys, it's going to make your blood boil. I'll just tell you right now. So let's go ahead and start with the housing numbers that the media doesn't want to talk about. And then I want to go ahead and follow the money straight to Graham's doorstep. You know what they say? My mom always told me, follow the money. So that's what we're going to do. So, all right, guys, let's start with what the mainstream media barely wants to admit. The housing market is teetering on the edge, not just cooling off, imploding in some areas. Get this. In Q2 of 2025, a whopping 1.4 million vacant properties are now being labeled zombies. These are homes sitting empty, unsold, unoccupied, and decaying. That's not a normal correction. That's a warning sign echoing through neighborhoods across the country. Mortgage applications crashing for the third week in a row, both new purchases and refis. People are not buying. People cannot afford to buy. And it's no mystery why. Let me comment down below. Are you able to afford a new home today? Yes or no? Now, today we have more sellers than buyers. That's a huge reversal from just a few years ago. Think about it. Nearly like 2 sellers for every 1.45 buyers. It's a standoff, and nobody's winning here. But here's the kicker. Even if you wanted to buy today, you probably couldn't, because when you adjust for home prices, wages, current mortgage rates, housing affordability is now at a 40-year low. 40 years, guys. That is generational damage. But who's to blame? And why does it feel like this collapse was helped along, even welcomed by people in power? Well, that's because what I'm about to share with you guys next, it may actually connect Wall Street greed directly to Lindsey Graham's betrayal of the American people. So think about it. During the pandemic boom, or specifically during the pandemic housing boom, Wall Street wasn't just investing, they were swallowing neighborhoods whole. Hedge funds and institutional giants like Invitation Homes and Progress Residential, they were bidding against everyday families. And they weren't playing fair. If a young couple offered $250,000 for a starter home, well, Wall Street would just roll in and drop $300,000 in cash. But then once they locked down those homes, boom, rents shot up. You guys saw that, right? Families got priced out. The American dream sold to the highest bidder. But here's the thing. Now the market is unstable. Wall Street is ghosting. Many of those big investors have already pulled out, leaving behind unleveraged neighborhoods, inflated listings, and lots of sellers praying for a miracle now. And yet the damage is already done. These firms, they got their profits. They left the rest of us to deal with the fallout. Now, here's where it gets really, really suspicious. Because while everyday Americans were getting boxed out of their own communities, Lindsey Graham was flying around the world on taxpayer money. So I want to go ahead and break down exactly where Lindsey Graham was going, how much it cost you, and what he was really focused on while your housing market collapsed. Spoiler alert, it wasn't South Carolina and it wasn't America First. Now, if you're watching this and you're stressing out right now about Medicare, I want you to stop scrolling. This might be the most valuable phone number you'll see today. Lindsay Taylor, she called Chapter and she saved $1,000 a year. Jamie from Texas also saving $600 back in her pocket. Why? Because Chapter checks every plan available. They explain it in plain English. They don't pressure you. They don't try to belittle you and make you feel like you're not very smart. And it's 100% free. These are some of the nicest people I've ever met. Guys, if you're 65 or older or about to be 65, heck, if your parents are 65 and they don't know about Chapter, give them a call now. If it's not for yourself, for your parents. Their phone number is 909-563-8279. Folks are saving money left and right. There's no reason why you shouldn't do so. And better yet, you can hit them up on the web at askchapter.org/Ron. I'll leave a link in the pinned comment and in the description. Operators are standing by. Seriously, give them a call. So while you were getting priced out of your hometown, while your kids were watching rents go up and their dreams of home ownership vanishing and stuck to live with you until they can afford to move out, Senator Lindsey Graham was racking up taxpayer-funded frequent flyer miles. Since January of 2023, get this, Graham has taken 6 luxury trips to Ukraine, totaling over $800,000 in travel costs. That's not a typo, guys. $800,000 all paid for by you, the American taxpayer. Now, I'll be honest, I've never ever once wanted to go to Ukraine or have even gone to Expedia to get a quote to see how much it's going to cost me to fly to the Ukraine. But do you think it should cost anywhere near $800,000 to go to the Ukraine 6 times? Drop me a yes or no on that one, guys. Anyway, meanwhile, how many times has Lindsey Graham visited the people who actually elected this man in South Carolina during that same time? Twice. Just 2 visits to the state he's supposed to represent. Based on his travel log, you'd think he was like Ukraine's ambassador, not a U.S. senator. But that's just the beginning. Because while Lindsey Graham was cozying up overseas and doing God knows what over there, pushing for endless war funding, guess what he was supporting? Or more importantly, guess what he wasn't supporting? President Trump's America First budget. Guys, that bill packed with border security, economic relief, housing affordability reforms has been stonewalled by people like Lindsey Graham. That's right, guys. When Trump needed votes to help everyday Americans, Lindsey Graham went undecided. Undecided. But when it's time to shovel billions of dollars to the Ukraine, no hesitation, he's first in line. Guys, it is the ultimate hypocrisy. So he'll fund foreign wars that inflate the dollar, push up interest rates, and crush the housing market, but he won't lift a finger to help Americans being evicted or outbid by hedge funds. Unbelievable, right? Do you guys know anyone who was outbid for a home or maybe evicted out of their home recently? Let me know in the comments, guys. But of course, we need to connect the final dots because I want to show you how these policies created these massive windfalls for Wall Street while Americans got burned. And of course, you're going to see exactly how inflation, foreign war, and interest spikes created the perfect storm and how Lindsey Graham is cheering it on from a first-class seat. Guys, we're going to go ahead and follow the money. And once you see where it leads, you're going to understand why so many Americans are demanding this man be replaced. So now, it's the puzzle. It's time to put the pieces of the puzzle together because this is not just about foreign trips or bad optics. This is about a U.S. senator helping engineer policies that enrich Wall Street while working class Americans were left holding the bag. During the pandemic housing boom, Wall Street poured billions of dollars into real estate. They were snatching up homes left and right that used to go to first-time home buyers, young families, and retirees that were looking to downsize, right? Well, why were they able to do that? Well, it's because interest rates were nearly zero. Capital was cheap. They had access to the money and you didn't. And just as this buying frenzy hit its peak, Lindsey Graham and his pals in Congress backed foreign entanglements and massive spending packages that triggered economic instability. The result? You guessed it, inflation. And what happens when inflation spikes? Well, the Federal Reserve jacks up interest rates to cool the economy, and with it, the housing market. And so who gets crushed in the process? You do. The middle class, first-time home buyers, veterans, Social Security recipients, teachers, truckers, parents. Meanwhile, the hedge funds, they already bought your neighborhood. They raised the rent and they dipped out with the profits. And Lindsey Graham, he was too busy pushing for more overseas funding, more escalation, and less support for domestic relief to do anything about it. So ask yourself this. Was this all just incompetence or was it coordinated? Because when a senator votes to fund a war that triggers inflation, refuses to back a budget that could help homeowners, and lets Wall Street buy your block while flying to Ukraine on your dime, that's not just a bad politician. That's a straight up sellout. Now, of course, I want to show you guys the backlash that's spreading across the entire country. From South Carolina to swing states, Americans are waking up, and some people are calling for Lindsey Graham to be removed from office altogether. Drop a removed in the comments if you think that Lindsey Graham should be removed from office, guys. Plus, there's a rumor out of Trump's inner circle that could flip the 2026 Senate race upside down. Do not go anywhere, guys, because what happens next, it might actually completely change the future of the Republican Party. Now, one day you're going to look back and you're going to realize you waited too long. That promotion you hoped for, that you hoped would change everything, well, it didn't. That raise, gone with inflation. That time you wanted to spend with your kids, you can't get that back. Now, I created the Liberty Pursuit Network because I didn't want to run out the clock. And, I didn't want you to continue to do work that didn't matter. OK, and I know you didn't either. So stop stalling. Click the link in the pinned comment down below or in the description down below and join us over the Liberty Pursuit Network before another year slips by. You can do this, guys. Link in the description down below. So check this out. You don't have to be a political junkie to feel it. The frustration, it's boiling over, isn't it? Americans are not just struggling. They're angry. They're starting to connect the dots. People are getting evicted as rents skyrocket. Families are living paycheck to paycheck. They're unable to buy even modest homes in neighborhoods that their parents grew up in. It's ridiculous. Meanwhile, Congress, they're silent. Wall Street, richer than ever. Lindsey Graham flying over war zones while Main Street collapses. What the heck is wrong with this picture, right? So we're hearing from voters who are saying that they feel abandoned, not just by Democrats, but by the very Republicans that they once trusted. There's this growing belief, and honestly, it's kind of hard to argue with, the establishment doesn't care about you. And then, when given the choice between securing your housing or funding another war, they choose war every time. And that's why the outrage against Lindsey Graham is intensifying, not just online, but in town halls, in MAGA circles, and in Trump's inner orbit. So, because while Lindsey Graham keeps dodging support for Trump's big, beautiful bill or his big, beautiful budget that includes real solutions for housing, energy, and economic relief, he's still lobbying to send billions of dollars more to the Ukraine. No questions asked. Anyone have an issue with that? The hypocrisy is now so glaring that Trump might finally be done playing nice. Now, rumor has it, and this comes from sources very close to the campaign, President Trump is actively considering backing a primary challenger to take Lindsey Graham out in 2026. And if that happens, it could ignite a grassroots war inside the GOP, one that finally forces a shutdown between the America First movement and the old globalist guard. The message from the base is simple. Kick out the establishment, fight for the people, put America first, or get the hell out of the way. Now, of course, if you've ever asked, well, what can we actually do about this? Well, I want to break it down for you guys because some of you guys have been asking, what can we do? Because the housing market can be fixed. The corruption can be stopped, but only if we demand accountability. And I'm going to show you how to do it in just a second. So you see it. You've seen it, right? We've all seen it. The housing market's cracking. Wall Street's milked it dry. And while millions of Americans are stuck renting, struggling, or just completely priced out, the people in power are busy protecting their donors and foreign interests. Lindsey Graham's actions aren't just tone deaf, they're dangerous, right? And that raises the very question, what are we going to do about it? Because if we don't speak up now, if we don't hold these so-called leaders accountable, they're just going to keep doing it. Like, they'll keep funding foreign wars, ignoring the housing crisis, letting Wall Street rig the game, and pretending they're on our side. So here's what we can start demanding right now. Investigate Lindsey Graham's taxpayer-funded trips. I mean, why was he flying to Ukraine while ignoring South Carolina's housing crisis? Pass legislation that limits Wall Street's control over single-family housing. No more hedge funds owning entire zip codes, right? Hold politicians accountable for voting against America First budget. If you refuse to fix what's broken at home, you shouldn't be making laws abroad, right? Push for primary challengers who actually care about the working class. If Lindsey Graham will not fight for us, replace this guy with somebody who will, right? Folks, the housing market, the housing collapse wasn't just a coincidence. It was engineered through a perfect storm of bad policy, foreign distraction, and elite protection. But here's the truth. They only win if we stay quiet. So if you're ready to fight back, if you're sick of watching your communities being sold off to Wall Street while your leaders sell out to global interests, do me a favor. Drop a comment down below. Tell me your rent story. Tell me your housing battle you're dealing with or that you've dealt with. And tell me what you're seeing in your town. And make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with 3 people who need to hear the truth before it's too late. Guys, this is not just about Lindsey Graham. It's about taking control back of our homes, our communities, and our country. Because if we don't, they will. Subscribe for more America First updates. Guys, the fight is just getting started.